Good evening, everyone. So, welcome to Career Launcher. My name is Naveen, and today we'll be looking at LRDI Basics number 15. So, today we'll be looking at one of the sets of previous year CAT. And in this, we'll be looking at cumulative sum of values when it comes to grids. Okay. So, without wasting any time, let's look at the question. The set says 3 boxes are kept in each of the 12 slots in a 4 cross 3 rows columns grid, as you can see below. Every box has a certain number of candies. The minimum and the maximum number of candies among the 3 boxes in each of the 12 slots are given in the following table. So you can see the table below. It is known that the total number of candies kept in any column or in any row is a multiple of 8. So basically, if we look at the total number of candies in in this particular column, it has to be a multiple of 8. It has to be for each column and similarly each row. Okay. It is also known that the number of candies in the first column of the third row is odd. First column of the third row, this one has to be odd. So basically, it's either 1 or 3 because the two numbers that are given, one is the smallest value of the candies and the next is the largest number of candies. Okay. And the total number of candies kept in the 3 boxes in the second column of the third row, is 8. So since minimum number of candies is 2 and the maximum is 3, so we can only make an 8 by taking 2, 2 and 3. There is no other way of doing it, right? Also in row 1 and column 2, there are even number of candies. So we are looking at row 1 and column 2. We have even number of candies. That means we can only have 2 or 4 candies here. And the third candy can be 2 or 4. So let's look at the questions. The first question asks, what is the total number of candies in the 3 boxes kept in a certain row column? One of the options is CBD, so we'll be careful about it. Second one, how many slots, the number of candies in 3 boxes are 10 or more. You can see that every option is a definite one. Same goes with question number 3 and 4. So whatever arrangement or the filling of the grid we are going to do, they are going to be kind of definite. Okay. So what I will do is I'll give you guys 5 to 7 minutes. Go ahead, try this out. So this has to be 2, 3, 3, so that this is 8. If any query, please feel free to ask queries. Okay, so let's start. It is known that the total number of candies kept in any column or any row is a multiple of 8, as we have already seen in the first slide. It is also known that the number of candies in the first column of the third row is odd. So first column of the third row is odd. So this is what we'll have. Odd candies total overall. Total number of candies kept in the 3 boxes in the second column of the third row is 8. So this is 8, which we have already seen can be formed only by taking 2 through 3. Also in row 1 and column 2, there are even number of candies. So this has to be even. Right? Now what we are going to do is we are going to see the range of the candies that we can have in every row column combination. Okay. So if you look at the first row, first column, the least number of candies we can have is when we will have 2, 2, 6, which is going to be 10. And the maximum number of candies we can have is when it's going to be 2, 6, 6, which is going to be 14. Similarly, in column 2, first row, minimum is 2 to 5, which is going to be 9, and maximum is going to be 2, 5, 5, which is going to be 12. Column 3, minimum is 2 to 12, which is going to be 16, and maximum is 2, 12, 12, which is going to be 26. Second row, first column, 1, 1, 2, which is going to be 4, and maximum is going to be 1, 2, 2, which is going to be 5. In this, it has to be 3 and 3 only. Okay, and this 3 we are getting from taking 1, 1, 1. So I'll also write down the combination that will give us that 3. So this is 1, 1, and 1. Okay, column 3 of second row, the minimum is 2 to 4, which is going to be 8, and the maximum is going to be 2, 4, 4, which is going to be 10. Row 3, the minimum is 1, 1, 3, which is going to be 5, and maximum is going to be 1, 3, 3, which is going to be 7. For second column of third row, we know that it is 8 for sure, and it will come from when we take 2, 3, 3. Third column, the minimum is going to be 1, 1, 5, which is 7. The maximum is 1, 5, 5, which is going to be 11. In row 4, minimum is going to be 2, 2, 3, which is going to be 7. Maximum is 2, 3, 3, which is going to be 8. In column 2, it's going to be 1, 1, 6, which is 8, and 1, 6, 6, which is 13. And here, it has to be 2, 2, 2 only. So this is fixed. So this is 6, which will come with 2, 2, 2. Now, if you look at the third row, the entire thing has to be a multiple of 8, out of which we already have one number which is a multiple of 8. And we know that the value over here is odd. And if we need the sum to be a multiple of 8, which is going to be even, that means in third row, third column, the value over there has to be odd as well. Which means here we can take only 5 or 7. We can't take a 6 because it was given it is odd. While in the third column, we can only have 7, 9, or 11. Let's see what combo of that will add up to give us a multiple of 8. So 5 plus 7, no. 5 plus 9, it won't give us a multiple of 8. 5 plus 11, yes. So 5 plus 11 is 16. Similarly, 7 plus 7 won't give, 7 plus 11 won't give, and 7 and 9 will give us. So we will have 2 cases here. So the first case is going to be, if this is 5, this is going to be 11. If this is going to be 7, this is going to be 9. And if this is 5, it can only come from 1, 1, and 3. If it is 7, it can only come from 1, 3, 3. If we look at 11, so I'm getting rid of this odd combo. Now, 11 we can get is from 1, 5, 5, while 9 we can get is from 1, 4, 4, or it can be from 1, 3, 5. These are the only 2 possibilities. No, we can also have 2 other combination also. We can have a 2, then we need a 7. 7 can come from 3 and 4. It can come from 2 and 5. So it looks like with 3 also we'll have a case. Let's not write down all the cases. Right? Is this sum we need? So I'll just put a dash here. Both cases. So row 3 is complete, and the sum is going to be 16 plus 8, which is going to be 24. So 16 from first column and the third column, and 8 is going to be from the second column. Now, the next particular row or column that we are given more info about is the second column. We know the two values being 8 and 3. We are told that the first row, second column is going to be even. That means from 9 to 12, we can only take 10 or 12 here. And since we need the sum to be a multiple of 8 again, which is an even number, so 10 and 12, whichever we choose from there, is even. 8 is already even. 3 is odd. So we are supposed to have an odd value here as well in the fourth row. So the odd values from 8 to 13 that we can have is going to be 9, 11, or 13. Okay. Let's see how we can make a multiple of 8. As of now, 8 is already there. So we need the sum to be an 8 or 16 or 24 or 32 and so on. So 10 plus 3 plus 9, which is going to be 22, right? No. 12 plus 3 plus 9, this is going to be 24, right? 10 plus 3 plus 11, this is going to be 24. 10 plus 3 plus 13, no. 12 plus 3 plus 13, this is also not 24. So we have two cases. So if we take a 10 here, this is going to be 11 plus 13. And if we take a 12 here, let's write it beneath. If we take a 12 here, this is going to be 12 plus 3, 15. We need another 11. So that the overall is 24 plus 8, 32 here. Okay. Now, let's look at row 4 now, because that's more or less it's complete, right? So we can have 7 or 8 here. So 7 plus 13 is 20. 20 plus 6 is 26. 7 plus 11 is 18. 18 plus 6 is 24. Now that's a multiple of 8. What if we take 8? 8 plus 13 plus 6 is odd. 8 plus 11 plus 6 is also odd. That means the only combination we can have over here is going to be a 7. Also because we need a multiple of 8 which is even in the fourth row, out of which 6 is already even. So if 13 or 11, they both are odd, that means in row 4 first column, it has to be an odd number. So we can only take 7, we can't take an 8. The moment this is 7, this one is going to be 13. And the moment this is going to be 13, that means, excuse me, this is going to be, hold on, did we need a 13? Sorry, no, 11, no? Sorry, not 13, we can only take 11. So that it's a multiple of 8. So this is going to be 24 again, which is a multiple of 8. Now this is 11 plus 10 plus 13. We can only take 10 here. We cannot take 12. So initially we had possibilities. Now we are going to get definite in the entire second column. Okay. The next one where we get the lesser range is row 2. So if we look at row 2, we can have 4 or 5 here, and we can have 8, 9, or 10 here. Now the thing is, we need a multiple of 8. Now multiple of 8 means even, out of which 3 is already odd. So the other two numbers, one has to be odd and another has to be even. Which means if I take a 4, I can take 8 or 10. Let's see if we get a multiple of 8. So 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 8 is 15. Or 7 plus 10 is 17. Sorry, we need an odd, no? 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. Sorry. And if you take a 5, 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 8 is also 16. So we get two cases again for second row. So if we happen to take 4, 4 plus 3 is 7. 7 plus 9 is 16. If we happen to take a 5, 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 8 is 16. So whatever may be the case, the sum of the candies in the second row, it has to be 16. Okay. Next, the first row and the first column and the third column. If you look at this cell, first row, first column, we can take numbers from 10 to 14. If you look at first row, third column, we can take numbers from 16 to 26. So the largest range we have in first row, third column. So let's not go there first. Let's pick row 1, column 1. So 10 to 14 we need. Okay. So if you look at the sums that we have so far, it's 4 plus 5 plus 7, which is 16. We can have 4 plus 7 plus 7, which is going to be 18. We can have 5 plus 7, which is going to be 17. Or we can have 5 plus 7 plus 7, which is going to be 18 again. 12 plus 7, 19. So we have these 4 possibilities. Now, if the sum is 16, right? So if the sum is 16, that means we need a number from 10 to 14, which is also a multiple of 8, because 16 is already a multiple of 8. We don't have any number between 10 to 14, which is a multiple of 8. So we cannot have a 16, which means we cannot have a combination of 4, 5, and 16, right? Okay. Next, 18. 18 means 4, 7, 7. If we have an 18, that means we need a 24 or a 32 to get there. Now, in order to have a 24, we need another 16. 16 doesn't exist. In order to have, we need another 6 in order to get a 24. We do not have a 6. In order to get to 32, we need another 14. So 14 is a possibility, such that in row 1, we are going to have 14. Here we are going to have 4, 7, and 7. This adds up to 32, right? Okay. Next is the 17. If we have a 17, then we can have is 24. For a 24, we need a 7. 7 doesn't exist. Next is 32. From 17, if I need to go to 32, I need a 15. There is no 15 here. So with 17, we won't be able to get anything. Let's look at 19 now. If we have a 19, so in order to get to a 24, we need a 5. There is no 5 available. In order to get to 32, we would need a 13. 13 does exist. So that means we can have a 13 and a 5 and a 7 and a 7. So basically in first row and first column, we can have 13 or 14, 2 possibilities, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to write 13 here and 14 here. And if we have a 13, we can have a 5 here or a 4 here. If we are going to have, so that forces us that in row 3, we will definitely have a 7, right? So that means we cannot have a 5 here. So this has to be 7. And this one also has to be 7. Now, the moment we have a 7 in third row, we can only have one possibility, which is going to be a 9, right? 7 plus 8 plus 9 is 24. So that means we again get a unique case here. Okay. Next is, okay, if we had a 5 plus 3, 8, so we will need an 8. So I'm going to write it in the same order. So 8 or 9, 5 or 4, 13 or 14. So here also we're going to have 2 possibilities, right? Okay. Now this is 32. Multiple of 8, 32. Now, whatever this sum we are going to have here, see, the overall sum, row-wise and column-wise, they are supposed to be same. 32 plus 32 is same as 16 plus 24 plus 24, right? That means whatever is this sum here is this exact sum we are going to have here, right? So right now we have 13 plus 10, 23 so far, plus the number here. And we will have 8 plus 9, which is 17 plus 6, 23. Perfect. It makes sense row-wise and column-wise. if you take up a 14, 14 plus 10 is going to be 24, plus the missing number here or the other side. And then we will have to take 9 plus 9, 18, 18 plus 6, 24. That means we will not have a unique case. Now, if we are at a 23, in order to get to a multiple of 8, we can go to 24. We need a 1, not allowed. Next, we can go to 32. For a 32, we would need an 8. 8 also we do not have. In order to have a multiple of 8, we need to get to 40. For 40, we would need a 17. 17 does exist here. So with 23, we can have a 17. And with 24, obviously, we will have to reduce it a bit. So basically, we are going to have 2 cases for row 1 and accordingly for row 2. So overall, there are 2 possibilities. Right? So this 8K would mean this is going to be a 40, which means this is going to be a 40. So obviously, this is not an easy set. This is something wherein we will have, as in it will take time. Okay, let's look at the questions now. What is the total number of candies in the 3 boxes kept in the 3rd column of the 2nd row? 3rd column of the 2nd row. 3rd column of the 2nd row, we are not sure. It may be, okay, we are not sure whether it is what, but it is definitely 8 or 9. Right? CBD means we do not even know 8 or 9, since 8 or 9 is in the option. Second, in how many slots is the number of candies in the 3 boxes? 10 or more. So if you look at first row, first column, definitely. Second column, first row, definite. So we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 places where we will definitely have 10 or more candies that are kept in the 3 boxes together. So 4. What is the number of different possibilities for the arrangement of candies in the slots? We have seen that there are exactly 2 cases. Right? Next question, in which row are the total number of candies for the 3 slots, 3 consecutive numbers? So we have to look into row wise. So 3 consecutive numbers we can see is it in row 3, right? 7, 8, and 9. So from the options, it's going to be C. So 3 questions out of 4 questions, we have an option of option C. Okay. So again, do you guys have any question, any query to ask? If you guys are preparing for SNAP and NMAT currently for this year, make sure that you go to our playlist on our YouTube channel. And if you guys haven't subscribed, please make sure that you subscribe and like the video. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'll see you again very soon. Until then, take care.